idiot on the stream trying to.
I'll sit in that chair if you want me to.
No, I've been trying to open it. I look like an idiot.
Oh. Yeah, that's good. It'll work like that. Okay. Yeah, you gotta hold your mouth right. Get a little volume in my life. All right. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. It's going to take a minute for that to update. It's a touch dark. Give me some, bump the ISO up or something. Red Forest is already giving us crap. Red Forest. You might can. Yeah, I don't know. Try it. It might not because it's plugged into HDMI. Yeah, don't do that. It's on top. It's on top. It's like the second or third button from the right. You might have to just get Ryer to bump it, or turn the turn the f-stop down. Oh, it's not a rodeo. It's perfect. It's all in perception, Ryer. What is going on with our Wi-Fi is what I want to know. I'm trying to download YouTube on this thing and it won't do it. Guess I'm just going to do it on my phone because I can't get this to do anything. Hold on, give it a second. I've got it on normal latency instead of low latency this time. What's it on ISO? Okay, it was on 500, so you might have to bump it one more. Oh, that's cool. It pops up in there. It's an 800. What's it on the? What's the f-stop? What's it? I mean, that's okay. It's still a touch dark, but it's dark in here, and it's gonna get darker, so we might need to bump it up. Turn the shutter. Yeah. Turn the shutter down. Turn it all down. Yeah, might as well. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, well, guys, we're getting set up. Ryer, of course, had to make coffee last minute. Clay is trying to get exposure right. We might need to throw a light up because we're about to lose all this light. Let's throw a light up real quick. I don't know. It's just dark. The ISO's at 800. I don't know. Look. Well, you got to look at the open up OBS on there. You can see it live. Oh, that's YouTube Kids. I don't want YouTube Kids. Yeah, if you unplug it, it stops the stream. What is up with the Wi-Fi up in this joint? Okay, whatever y'all think. Maybe my phone brightness is turned down. Nah. Crap. Dadgummit. Cancel. Testing, test. There we go. Now I'm turned up like I wanted to be. Because Ryer always turns me down because he's got such little girl ears. You don't hear anything? Oh, I don't have you turned up yet. There you are. There's Ryer whenever he gets sit down. Still got nothing? Number 3. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Perfect.
Right there?
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I can't get this to do anything. This iPad's useless. Literally don't even know. I think that's mine,
I'll
but I'm not
I'll monitor it on my phone because I'm plugged in.
I've got it on my phone too.
Okay.
Can it even see you?
I don't know. Ryer could check.
Hold on,
If it
I'll
can
look.
see me.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can see it. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's good. Chris Gerlich just commented, drops thousands on a red, shoots in natural light. It's a podcast, Chris.
Also, I don't know if could you even live stream on a red?
Yeah.
How?
Through the HDMI cord, just like we're doing right now.
Maybe once we get that studio set up there.
We're gonna have lights up there. We'll just have it where we literally click and turn things on.
If we can average 100 viewers per live stream, we'll put it on the red.
Yeah. Somebody pays for it.
We could live stream it if we get with the FS7. Huh?
Forgot what hat I was wearing.
Rifle.
I can't hear myself.
Still?
I can hear you guys. I can't hear myself.
That's because, well,
You should be able to.
Barely. Just turn me up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, it's 5:34. So we are.
Do we need to put this link on the Instagrams?
I'll send it to you now. Just as soon as I find it. It's always hard to find the link for this thing. Where is it even at?
Oh, that's not pleasant.
Where in the heck is the link? Dude, I don't even know where it's at. Oh, it's probably because... Hold on.
If you're signed in as yourself.
It might be why I'm not finding it. Yeah, this is aggravating.
Do you need me to go to YouTube?
Yeah, can't find a way to send it from this link.
All right. Go to the YouTube.
It's like showing her grandpa how to FaceTime.
I wish that YouTube would quit asking me to sign up for their subscription
Oh,
services.
God, dude, me too.
Like, I've said no 40 million times. What makes you think that all of a sudden I'm going to say yes? You know? I'm not.
Here, I've got it. It text it to you.
Yes.
Sent.
What is this thumbnail?
What thumbnail?
The thumbnail for episode 106 on the road in Wyoming 4 weeks ago.
I don't
Look
know.
at the thumbnail.
It's rough.
I told you that was on the list of things to do. We need a new thumbnail.
It's rough.
We need a new thumbnail for a lot of things. I'm low.
I think Jamie's podcast has a good thumbnail. Just Jamie
Jamie
being madder than heck that I'm taking pictures of
Jamie
him.
bewildered. I'm still turned down because somebody turned me down. There we go. That's better. I can hear myself now.
Copy.
You can turn
Add
me
new
that.
link. Do we know what episode we're on? 113.
This is 113.
Episode 113. YouTube Live. Or don't paste. That's fine. Whatever. Didn't want it to do.
I mean, to post it on Cope Creative too.
With that swipe up.
Flex on them again with the swipe up.
Yeah, I've got to go recopy the link though because I don't remember what it was.
Just go to my
I've got it.
text message. It's windy out there. Look at that plant.
I know, it's
Blowing
been
all over.
windy all day.
Story.
Can y'all hear me breathing too?
Yeah.
Dang. It's obnoxious.
Live on podcast 113. Tech podcast. All right. Do that number. Web link. That. Paste. Done.
Go to the YouTube. Riveting content going on right now.
Yeah, sorry guys. It just always takes too long to do this. All right, I'm done. All right,
I'm gonna screenshot that and we're gonna post that as a story. Can I also say that I hate the new Instagram update where you have to go like 5 layers deep to post a story?
Yes, I hate that as well.
um
It's very annoying.
Jared, we are trying to set up a studio. We cannot find a contractor that will call us back. So if you know a contractor that will call us back and then we'll do work in Dahlonega, Georgia, please send us their information because
You would think people would need money these days.
apparently not contractors, which I met with my tax guy the other day. He said 80% of his clients are having banner years, but we're in a recession. Doesn't make any sense. So if you work in the clothing business or the travel business, or hospitality, you're probably having a rough year.
Yeah.
I'd say everybody else is having a great year.
I don't know. I've been to outlets a couple times since it happened, and it hasn't been on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
I
It's been
saw-
off the chain.
I saw a guy on TikTok the other day in Atlanta sitting on top of his 4Runner, He's like, there's literally not a parking place in this entire mall.
I went to Avalon 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was off the hook.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm telling you. And then these other cities, like I was telling my family last night we had our Christmas party at my parents' for my mom's side of the family. I told them that there was more people at my Thanksgiving on her side of the family than there were in the entire Albuquerque airport. Craziest thing I've ever seen.
See, because my Delta flight from Atlanta to Daytona, Atlanta was full. Every seat, even the middle seat.
Chris Gerlich said all his marketing clients are killing it. He said they're selling furniture like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
It's
because no one's working, but they're still getting paid.
I guess.
They got time to do everything, and they're not losing any money not doing anything.
I just don't see how these people are going to do it once the unemployment crap run. Like, once that dries up, and then what?
Yeah.
I just don't get it, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. But we got a couple people listening or watching the live stream. We're going to actually start the podcast here in just a minute. Kind of got a, I don't know, you are on the notes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the podcast, have you looked at them for today?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, it's just kind of random topics. There's nothing groundbreaking in the notes, but figured I'd get everybody time to jump on. We've been on for about 20 minutes now, waiting for everybody to get on.
Usually they're waiting on us.
Yeah. Think we're ready. You ready, Ryerstein?
Yeah, I'm just looking for today's specific notes. Where did you put them?
They're in the
podcast notes.
Where they always are. 113 episodes.
ADHD is a hell of a drug, folks.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and run through this.
The Redneck Tech Podcast is brought to you by Diamondback Covers, the absolute best cover you could ever spend your money on. If you need an insurance policy for all the expensive gear on the back of your truck, then you need a Diamondback cover. Make the bed of your truck a vault with Diamondback.
Right here. Yeah. You want it? Yeah. Welcome back to Redneck Tech Podcast, episode 113. I'm back in the studio today. I'm not terrorizing Clay and Ryer via the internet this time. I'm back in the office for a little bit and trying to, tie up loose ends before the end of the year. Turns out we got a couple clients, John Dudley, that have a lot of last-minute things that pop up that they need done. And I handled one of those late on Saturday night, and Ryer is still working on some from the other, I don't know, when were you there, last week?
Yeah.
And Dudley, I told him on text, I meant to show you this text too, Clay, or Ryer, because you would love this, is I literally sent him a text message. I'll just read it verbatim. He texted me the other night, and this is Dudley. God, I love him to death. But he sends me this thing where he needs this video done. And I'm like, when? And he's like, I don't know, you do it tonight? I'm like, no. And I said, when do you need it by? He said, needs to be under 2 minutes. He needs it by Monday morning. I said, you better know how much I love you. Your lead times suck. I'll head to the office in an hour or so when I get my kids down. Came here at like 8:30 at night and edited it till like 10:30. It wasn't a hard edit, but it was one of those things I had to come here, download footage, put it together, get an approval. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but like, he just better know we freaking love him in order to do stuff like that. Because if we didn't love you, I'd told you to. I'd told you where to get to stepping. But
I mean, that boat release video is the same deal. I flew in, got there at 10:30. We went to his office, set up, went to the shop and shot around and got all of that stuff, went to his indoor range and shot around. And then we went back to the office and did all the talking stuff. And then that took until, it must have been 10:30 at night took until, and
Yeah.
then I stayed up until like 1:30, putting a rough together, and then I got 2 hours of sleep because I needed footage to conform, and then I got up at 5:30, and then edited for the rest of the day on Embark video stuff.
Just a easy couple days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I try and explain to my wife that, it's not all like sunshine and rainbows when we're on trips. We come back with the fun time, the good times. Like, hey, we killed a big deer, a big elk, or this, that, and the other. But all the things leading up to that, they weren't, the easiest things in the world. But that's really hard for her to grasp sometimes. And my mother, turns out. But that's kind of a perfect segue into the first thing I want to talk about. This podcast, guys, is going to be a little hodgepodgey just because we knew we needed to do one today, but I have a subject I want to talk about on another podcast, but I want to have time to really sit down and think it through first. But you shot virtually that entire 3 days with Dudley on the R5. That was the first time you got to be hands-on with it.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thoughts? Good, bad, ugly?
I like it. I've been very outspoken about not enjoying shooting on. I say DSLRs. You guys can come for me. This is a mirrorless camera, but up until now, you had the A7R2. Anyways, the smaller cameras, whether it's a mirrorless,
you're talking about
or a DSLR,
form factor more than like what the camera is.
I just didn't want people to think that I was calling a mirrorless a DSLR and a DSLR a mirrorless. Yeah. But up until now, I've hated shooting on those type of cameras for a couple of reasons.
For video.
Because photos is all good. I love shooting photos on them, obviously. But for video, I've never enjoyed them because kind of getting around and changing settings on the fly isn't as intuitive. The menu systems are kind of a pain. You don't get focus peaking, which for me, with my vision, like I have to have focus peaking to pull focus on the fly. Especially if like the camera doesn't have a punch in button, which the R5 doesn't, but
it does. Yeah, it does.
Just like a punch in and out, like on the FS7.
It's got a magnify button.
Yeah, but while you're filming, I don't think you can do it while you're filming. Like you can't punch in while you're filming.
I don't know the answer to that one. No, I don't know.
I think I tried it and I couldn't do it.
Oh,
but
okay.
I could be wrong.
Somebody asked me a question about it the other day that I didn't know the answer to. Can't remember what it was. Anyway, go ahead.
So without like being able to punch in and without focus peaking, getting crisp focus on a DSLR has always been a challenge for me. I don't usually like holding the camera because they're so small. It's really hard to hold steady and zoom and pull focus and all that stuff. And I still have some of the same kind of complaints with the R5. It is small. If you've got to hold it for 45 minutes straight, it's not fun. It's not a good time. I had to do that 2 times for Dudley.
John Dudley.
Mm-hmm. So, if my biceps are looking extra ripped, you can thank him for that. So holding it for 45 minutes straight isn't fun. I still like some of the handheld moves that are a little bit smoother with a big 10-pound camera are not that smooth with the R5.
Did you turn on the
in-body image stabilization?
Yeah.
Yep.
You did?
Yeah, so that's
someone just asked a question about that on the live stream, by the way.
Okay.
The in-body image stabilization?
The IBIS, yeah.
Yeah, so even though I still have some of the same gripes, there was a significant improvement over filming with a 5D Mark IV or a 6D to filming with the R5. And that having stabilization on the lens and having in-body stabilization made shooting handheld a lot easier. I mean, for the 45 minutes that I held it, I was constantly walking up, back and forth, moving the camera, pulling focus, and all of those things. And it wasn't jittery, and the in-body stabilization really seemed to smooth all of those things out. You can still tell it's handheld, but it's not that really annoying DSLR kind of
Like,
lens
was it-
jitter that you
But
usually
was
get.
it like gimbal-esque?
No, I wouldn't say it's gimbal-esque. I mean, you'd have to have a gimbal for it to be like super, super smooth.
Even at like 16?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And I was on the 24 to 105 too.
So you could essentially do a pretty cool like walk and follow or some sort of like handheld selfie type vlog. And
yeah.
it'd still be really, like not look like you're in an earthquake the whole time.
Yeah, and I think it, just depending on the lens and how much movement and how you're holding the camera, all of those things together plus that stabilization is going to give you a lot of smoothness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know we walked back and forth to and from the target, and I'll have to look at it on the actual video, but I remember while we were walking, I didn't feel like the camera was looking like I was doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
Which usually with a DSLR, I mean, if you try to walk and follow somebody with a DSLR, it's going to look.
What about the pictures? What are your thoughts on the pics?
I like the pictures.
It's a huge file.
It is a really big file. I tried to crush one down to, Dudley likes them to be 2 or 3 megabytes, and it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't crush it to 2 or 3, so I've just been having to send 5 megabyte files.
I don't deal with it.
But I like the pictures. There's a lot of room to crop. They're very sharp. I found that, and I don't know if this is just where we were shooting, because I've only shot that one location. So until I shoot it somewhere else, I won't know for certain. But it seemed like there was a little bit of kind of a yellow in the skin tones from the R5, which surprised me because generally Canons run a little bit redder.
Was it a white balance thing, or was it just
No,
yellow?
It just seemed kind of yellow with the skin tones.
And that's in pictures or video or both?
Both.
Both?
It seemed like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's just it could have been where we were shooting, could have been how Dudley's skin was that day.
Yeah.
I don't know, but until I shoot somewhere else, I would know for certain.
Yeah.
But I did notice that it's super easy to run a high ISO on that R5 and not even know it. So you got to watch out for that. I did that a couple times.
Well, I was watching some of Philip Bloom's stuff, and he was running 6400 ISO all the time on that thing. I'm like, dang, that's a really high ISO.
He runs a lot of stuff through a noise reduction thing, though.
Yeah, I know,
lot.
but still, that to me, that just means you create more work for yourself.
Running it that high?
Well, yeah, if you have to noise reduce everything.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to create more work for myself when I'm videoing.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty. I think it was pretty clean up to the higher ISOs. Obviously,
How high did you push it?
Didn't do anything too crazy. I
No.
probably got up to
2,500, 2,000.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all in a really well lit area, so I didn't have to really push it too far. What was I just thinking about? Oh, I really, really liked being able to do 120 on it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked being able to do 4K on it.
I don't like how it doesn't do 120 and 1080 though.
Yeah, that's what I
only
was just
does it-
about to say. Is I was in there and I was looking for 120 1080 because so this is what happened. What happened was, so we went to film the Embark
reveal
full reveal promo video.
Yeah.
And because at that time I didn't know that it needed to be done by 9 a.m. the next day.
At the time.
At the time, I did not know it needed to be done by 9 a.m. the next day. I knew we had to get it done, but I didn't know that that it had been promised for 9 a.m. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we're going to set the main camera up. It's going to be wide. I'm going to shoot it in 4K so then I can punch in if I need to. And then I've got the secondary camera angle with the 70 to 200 on there for super tights. And then I went through and did all of the kind of the close-up B-roll stuff on the R5, 4K 120, just to kind of smooth some. Well, no, they're just 4K. A couple 120 clips with movement. And then when I got to the computer and I started downloading them and I started trying to work with them on the iMac that Dud had, which I mean is just a pretty standard iMac. It's
i5
not,
processor.
Yeah.
Not very high RAM. It's just a virtually a big MacBook Pro is all it was.
Right, and the 4K wouldn't play at all, 0%.
Did you have to put it
so-
in the media encoder?
So what I had to do then is I had to create proxies for everything,
Love
which-
a proxy.
which is what
You create proxies. I would have put it in media encoder and spit out a ProRes 422 1920 by 1080.
well, that's what it does. But then you don't have to degrade the file.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I would just.
So then you still get the crop room. So then
Yeah.
you still have the crop room. This is to say, if I had known that I needed this by 9 a.m. the next day, I probably would have filmed everything in 1080 so that I didn't have to take the time at midnight to wait for a computer to make proxies for me. But yeah, I mean, at 4K 120, those files they're still subject to the same type of crushing that a DSLR file usually has. So I didn't like that. And then the next day when I went to go film things in 120, I was like, well, I don't need the 4K here. There's no reason to have the 4K here.
Yeah.
I don't want it, but I do want the 120.
But you don't have an option.
But you can't do just 1080 120.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't.
doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like it's not like I'm asking it to do more. I'm asking it to do less.
Yeah, and it won't do it.
Canon came out with a camera. They discontinued it 2 or 3 years ago, but it wouldn't do 1080 24. It would only do 1080 30.
Yeah. I don't understand. Yeah.
Which doesn't make any
No.
sense.
No.
Like that's all a software thing. Has nothing to do with anything.
It's one button. 2 numbers and a button is all someone has to do.
Well,
they wouldn't
it's
do
not
it.
even that. It's like a software thing. It's like ones and zeros in different places, I think. I mean,
Like
this
just
is-
take the menu option from the other cameras that do it
yeah.
in the same program.
Well, this is
put 'em
my
there.
stupid mind, programming and building a camera, and I have a little zero about that. But you would think it would be pretty easy to, if you can shoot 4K 120, why not shoot 1080 120? But what do I know? So overall, though,
Overall, I enjoyed it. I have thought about never giving it back to Caleb because I think I'm with you as far as would I want to run that as my primary camera on most things? Probably not.
well, that's what I want to talk about. Is I had a conversation with Aaron Morgan, which me and you have talked about how, and Clay can probably jump in on this too because you've ran DSLR a good bit, but Aaron is a mirrorless only guy. He runs the A7S and the A7R2 or 3.
R3 and an R4.
R3 and R4.
There's an R4 now?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he runs mirrorless only for everything. And he rigs them out with cages and monitors and
Shoulder rigs
and all this. He shoots, everything he shoots is beautiful. I would put his stuff up against just about anybody else's. But, you breaking my table, dude? But at the same time, he's never shot on a big camera, like an FS7 or an FS5, or he's never really had one to mess with. And he was talking to me about the FX6, which is the next thing I wanted to talk about. But he was just going to buy the new A7S III
3.
and not buy the FS6. And I'm like, FX, whatever. And I was like, why? He's like, I just like the mirrorless form factor. And I was like, yeah, but you have to put a shoulder rig, a monitor, you have to build out all this crap, spend all this extra money, and the form factor still sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to fumble with cords and screws and
then
cables and batteries, and
you're building it out to the size of that camera anyways.
And you have to do everything through a menu. Everything's through a menu. You don't have hotkeys for high speed. You don't have the dedicated rings for everything. I was like, why would you want to do that? And it all came down to, once I talked to him, he's just never had a big camera. And if you're watching this and you're thinking about, okay, a DSLR is an awesome option if you're on a budget, for sure, because they're going to be cheaper than big cameras. No doubt. But in terms of if you want to pick up a camera and run it a lot and run it for multiple things, what we call big cameras or like full frame cameras,
Cinema
cameras, I'll take my FS7 over running a DSLR any day of the week because I'm going to be able to shoot things 10 times faster. I won't say 10 times, for sure 3 times faster on my FS7 because I have dedicated buttons, I have dedicated rings. The menu almost goes out of the equation. Like you don't really go into the menu very often unless you're changing codecs. On DSLRs, you have to go into that all the time, and it slows you down. Everything becomes more complicated. For gimbals, for pictures, things like that, DSLR mirrorless all day long. It makes the most sense. But for what we do every day, it doesn't make it. I just don't. I would be very upset if I had to carry just that and had to rig it out every time I wanted to shoot something. It would just, every time I would have to break it down and set it back up, break it down, set it back up. That would drive me insane right there.
For filming, when I filmed Dudley in Utah the first time, I wish I would have brought my Sony because the amount of pictures he wants and how raw he wants his video, following him around, I'd rather have that mirrorless on a monopod over the FS5.
And when I'm filming Dudley, I'm generally running a DSLR, and that's why. Because his is different than everybody else's. But for 80% of everything else that we do, a big camera is the way to go. And then the pictures are kind of a bonus. The ergonomics of a big camera, like I said, the rings, the buttons, the menus, everything's better.
The hand-holding's better.
Hand-holding's better.
Well, I just think about, like, hand-holding. And, I mean, you guys know my
Dustin
shooting
Apple
style.
just said ND filters, which is a huge, huge.
Built-in, yep.
Like, I rarely hold the camera like this. Like the camera unless I'm filming somebody talking or like chasing him. I mean, I've got the camera all over the place. I like to hang out of trucks. I like to put it up here. I like to put it down here. And with a DSLR, like you can only hold the DSLR like this. Yeah. You don't have handles. Unless you put them on there. Well, and you don't have record buttons in different places.
And
you don't
until
have
the R5, like the 5D Mark II, Mark IV, Mark III, 6D, 7D, everything else, it had a fixed monitor. You couldn't turn the monitor. Like
which
the R5, which limits a lot of your options. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to shoot B-roll on those, but the monitor was in a position that I couldn't see anything.
Or second angles.
Yeah, or second angles make me so mad. But R5, they fixed that, thank the Lord. But that was even an option. And the A7R, the A7s, they only like to pivot up. They don't like turn and face the outside.
All of them just they tilt up and down. They don't flip. But the new A7 III does the full 3D spin.
Oh, it does do the free. Okay, well then they're finally fixing that.
That's the first one. Yep.
But that's a huge thing. Like there's been times that we wanted to do like vlog style videos. You can't do that on the DSLRs up until we got the R5 because you can't see what you're looking at.
Well, the 60.
Oh, the 60.
Or
60
like
does it.
I think the 70, 80, and 90D.
I have a 70.
Which are technically prosumer type cameras, not.
Because they're a crop sensor.
Yeah, they're not full frame.
Yeah. So there's so, to me, the disadvantages of running a DSLR or mirrorless camera all the time for us far outweigh the advantages of paying the extra money, or the disadvantages of paying the extra money and getting the big camera. Which leads me to the next thing, which is the next camera we're going to buy is the FS6. FX, not FS, FX6, which is it's technically the baby brother to the FX9, which is a freaking monstrosity, huge camera, which is, I guess, the step up from what is now the FS7, which has been my workhorse for 3 seasons here and probably 1 or 2 seasons when I was at sub 7, so almost 5 years, if not more than that.
I think that's what mine's going on.
So camera's been really good to us. And I mean, for what we do, and have we broken some? Yes. Have we broken pieces and parts and had to send some in? Yeah. But for what those cameras have gone through, they've been pretty freaking tough. They are heavy, they're bulky, but man, in terms of a documentary style filmmaking, outdoor production, it's about as good as you can get. But they're at the end of their life. So
I feel like with the FS7, like you said, like especially because I've been running it for 5 years, I don't have to think about anything with it. And I feel like I can just take it and use it as like an extension of me. Like it's not, I don't have to like, oh, where's this button? Where's that button? Where's this, that, and the other? I mean, I think that goes twofold. It goes for like the form factor of that camera and knowing your camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like between those two things, I mean, the FS7 is just an excellent camera for me, and I think you feel the same way about it.
Yeah, I can run it with my eyes closed now. I've ran it for so long. And I mean, you probably feel the same way about the FS5, which is, I mean, there's so little difference in the, the size is about the only difference, but
menu system.
Yeah, menu system. But the FX6, like we're to the place where I know we're going to get one of them, but then that leaves, like Clay will have the FS5, and then we really need two of them. But we're kind of in the place to where, like, do we sell the red or do we sell two FS7s?
It hurts my heart.
I know
that we have to think about selling the red, but with the amount of, and we've talked about this, with the amount of projects that the red is actually useful and necessary for, we could rent a red and have the FX6s as the new workhorses.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more mileage out of those FX6s.
They're more practical
than the red. And if the FX6's color science and abilities are as good as they say they are, I mean, it's not far from a red quality.
Well, the thing,
it's not red quality, but at the end of the day, unless we're going to send the footage to a colorist, like, no, you wouldn't be able to say that's red and this is FX6.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong. We haven't had, at least since I started here, we haven't had someone come up to us and say, you have to shoot this on the red.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've shot certain projects on the red because we had it, not because they made us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
yeah, it's the red is something. The red's a luxury, and it's a luxury to have it. I mean, but problem is, like right now, it's sitting on the shelf. If it's not making you money, then what's the advantage of having it type thing. So, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Do I like the fact that we have one? If we do get a call for a big project, we have it. Yes. Everything about it is a pain in the butt. It's loud. Chews batteries. Files are enormous. But it looks real good. But is it worth keeping it for the trade-off value of selling it, getting that money, putting it towards two FS6s?
I mean, it also could be a thing where we get an FX6, see what it looks like compared to a red side by side, and if it's close enough, then you make the decision to get rid of it.
Well, it's like
the thing that makes the FX6 better than the FS7, it's going to give it the more red look because it's full frame, not Super 35.
Well, I can almost justify, because if Clint buys an FX6 like he's talking about, I can sell all three of our FS7s and buy two of them and keep the red.
I didn't even know he was talking about that.
He's talking about it.
When did he tell you that?
I don't know. Other day, I told him that's what he needed to buy.
If he was going to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he runs mirrorless too all the time.
But
he runs his Nikon Z7.
But as a contractor, and this is the same thing I told Aaron, if you want to make more money as a freelancer, you need a full frame camera.
Full frame,
full frame sensor.
Well, there's our full frame,
cinema
but
camera.
They're not cinema.
You need a cinema camera.
Yeah.
And they both agreed, So
and you can get the same footage on both of them, but as bad as it is to say, you look better with it.
Yeah, and I told them it's a perception thing. I mean, our whole world is about perception.
Yeah.
And perception is something that it sucks. I mean, even when we have to create perception, that's a reason why we bought the red. If we want to go into a new client and look more professional than we are, because let's be honest, look at us three. Are we really that professional? No, we're not. But when you,
I resent you saying that.
But when we,
I'm very professional.
But when we show up with a red, that just ups your cloud a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, It's a dick measuring contest. Let's be honest. That's
I
why
do enjoy matching my beard to the camera.
Yeah. And she's named Reba. I mean, like, it's a really cool camera. But it was also, after it was all said and done, like $15,000, and it's sitting there on the shelf.
Right.
$15,000 can go a long way to building a studio, buying more cameras, a lot of things, which I can't get $15,000 out of it now. Don't tell my wife that. But, like, even if we got 12 for it, you know, $12,000 is a lot of money.
How much is an FX6 body? 7 or 8?
6 for just the body.
6?
Yeah, just the body, yep.
Those FS7s, when they came out, were 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, camera prices have really been shrinking. Well, Red's even got the Komodo. That's a $6,000 body.
Mm-hmm.
For a Red?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And prices are coming down. I like that. Which, problem with us now is we're adding people, so we have to have more cameras. And Clay's computer's on its last leg, which it was on its last leg when you had it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something else I got to look at buying is another computer. So I don't know.
You just get the Mac Pro cheese grater.
Well, no.
I'll get that one. Clay can have the other one.
We just need him to go hang out with someone that has a nice computer, and in a week we'll have a new one.
Yeah, if somebody could go ahead and get that FX6 in their hands.
I was watching a video on that cheese grater. A dude bought one $22,000
before a screen, by the way. Before a screen.
Like Ron Swanson trying to eat a banana.
God, dude, I just can't imagine spending that on a computer. Got another question. Clay, you shot a wedding for the first time in a while. How was it going?
I was in full whitetail shoot stuff.
How was it going from filming killing stuff to filming a man killing himself?
Well, that's funny because
you want him? Yeah, kill him.
That is
you may
funny
kiss the bride.
Because a week before the wedding, he broke his leg and tore all the ligaments in his ankle. So he was on a knee scooter and a peg leg the whole time.
He got freaking sniped right before the wedding.
This is my mindset. So like, I obviously try to look nice, but I'm there all day, so I know I'm going to sweat. And your boy rolled up with a button-down on a hanger and an Under Armour Hunt olive drab green shirt on.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Without realizing it. But, yeah, I was very much in hunting
Did
mode.
you break out the skates?
No. I did have the FS5 on the gimbal, though.
Speaking of, you guys have got a treat coming into this week. So we are going to release our reel. For those of you listening, you get to be the first ones to hear this. We are releasing our 2020 Copeland Creative Reel on Friday. What time on Friday do you think we should release it?
I don't like to tie myself to times.
Okay. All right. I guess that answers that. So Friday of this week.
Because that just is an opportunity to be late.
The 19th. Is that the Friday?
19th, yes.
Yes. Friday the 19th. We're going to Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
Friday is the 19th?
No, it's the...
it's the 18th.
Hold on.
It's 18th.
Right?
It's the 18th. Okay.
18th.
Friday the 18th. This Friday, we're going to release our Copeland Creative Reel. It is 97% done right now. We've got 3 shots that we have to get for it. We are going to shoot those tomorrow, put the final touches on the reel tomorrow or Wednesday, and then...
Just needs color, right?
Yeah, it just needs... Well, it depends on if I'm doing the color or if Ryer's doing the color. If I'm doing the color, it needs a day. If Ryer's doing the color, it needs till Friday.
So you're doing the color.
Yeah, probably.
You guys haven't even hardly let me touch that thing.
For good reason.
The one thing that I left that I thought was okay, you changed.
I had you come in and look at stuff. I had to take the mouse off the desk so you wouldn't change anything. Just tell me what you don't like and I can fix it, but I don't need you to demolish it.
Here. You can do the reel by yourself next year.
I didn't say that. I didn't say any of that. That's not what I said.
Dude, I would love for somebody to do it other than me. It stresses me out. Like last year's reel stressed me out. This reel didn't stress me out as bad because I thought we had a pretty good idea going into it. But like last year stressed me out because I was like, and then I watch it now. Like I watched it the other day, last year's reel. There's so many shots I forgot about. So many good ones I forgot. And this one I know is going to hit me and be like, oh, why didn't we use that shot? Oh, why didn't we use that time lapse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why didn't we use... But, dude, and, like, that was, like, one of our clients this year told us, like, as we're going through shows, like, pull cool clips for, like, stuff for social media. It's like, yeah, great. We don't ever think about that when we're editing. That's so hard to do. It's just a completely different mindset from highlight reels to storytelling to show editing. Like those are 3 different realms of thinking.
If we went on all of our trips and all we did was film for the reel, we would have 5% of the stuff we actually.
Yeah. Oh man, if we could just go and do what like Drew and them did for Bluestem, just look for pretty. Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun.
You'd work 30% of what you normally do.
Yeah, it would be so much fun. But versus what we and Ryer did, which is shoot dialogue the whole time. I mean, we rolled hours and hours of talking, but that's what made it good. You marry those 2 things together and it's beautiful. That's why it's to create something that special. One person can't do it unless you have a year to do it.
Well, especially when you got 3 people. I don't know what you've shot. He doesn't know what I've shot. You don't know what he's shot. So
in terms of we're going to release the reel on Friday. Tomorrow they're going to make the reel. And then it'll be complete. So look for that on Friday. Let us know what you think, good, bad, or ugly. It's kind of a...
Unless you think it's ugly, in which case...
Don't say
keep that to yourself.
It is.
Keep your mouth shut.
It is. It is not.
Worry about yourself, player.
It is not. And I've already answered this question to a couple people. I've sent it the preliminary versions to. It is not a pilot for a show that we're going to be doing about ourselves. I don't know how that got started, even though that was an idea that I had like 5 years ago. That is not what it is. So. It's just a reel, just to spin our own spin on what a reel is, because pretty shots to pretty music is just kind of boring. So we tried to put our own little touch and idea and feel on it. So if you like it, great. If not,
if you like it, fine. If you don't, fine.
Kick rocks. Man, I'm like just segueing right into these next points.
Just a segue.
So another piece of gear that we recently got, or Ryers recently got, that I want him to talk about is his f-stop gear bag.
Oh, I was like, what piece of gear did I get?
So you talked about the R5, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting one for Christmas.
An R5?
No.
Oh.
One of the bags like you got. It was on my Amazon list, and it's no longer on my Amazon list, so I'm assuming that's what somebody got me for Christmas. Thoughts on that? What are your good, bad, and ugly? So you just took it on another trip, and you've had it since fall, haven't you? Or September?
So I have the f-stop Talopa, or Talapa, I don't know how you say it. Talopa, I'm assuming. I have it.
Go get it.
Want me to go get it?
Yeah. Well, me and Clay will keep the live feed here until you're back. Ryer has a red velvet cupcake that he's been saving just to eat on this podcast. He's already had one today, and he was going to eat the other one. Then he said, I should probably wait and eat this on the live stream.
And this is where the ADHD kicks in.
Yeah. So, we got any more questions in here? Damon Chase said he's late to the show. No, you're good, man. The Calling TV guys, I agree. Y'all are pros, man. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but thank you. ND filters. Yeah, I already said that. But, yes, ND filters are a huge, huge reason why. What? Oh. Can you even see? Yeah, you can see that. Barely. No, that's the old camera. You can't even see the R5.
Yeah, that's
a little sexy.
That's the R5.
Little precious. She's got the little nifty 50 on there right now.
So I got it so I can kind of run through it for the people watching.
That thing is disgusting.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be disgusting. That's how you know it's good.
So this is the f-stop Talopa. I got it. It comes in black. I got it in this color so that it was not just a straight black bag. It kind of blends in a little bit. I mean, it's not going to blend in a touch, or it's not going to blend in a ton, but that's okay. It's like what would you say that is? Like an olive?
It's like an
olive drab.
Olive drab.
More like a sand color.
Sand.
Yeah.
Forest green.
Kind of a beigey.
Green enough.
It's got some red accents from elk blood on there.
And that's when you know it's good.
So I've ran a couple of different bags. For a few years, I ran...
Can I format this card?
What's on there?
I don't know. That's why I was going to take some pictures while you were talking, but your card's full because you didn't format your flipping card.
I don't like to format the cards until I get everything backed up in 2 places.
Keep talking. It's Dudley stuff.
Yeah, I should have it, but
looks like pictures.
Is it all just pictures?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be. Should be MP4s on there.
I'm looking. Hold on.
So for a while, I ran when Badlands had their camera backpack, I had that for a little bit. And then I broke that one and got a different Badlands pack that I ran for a couple of years. And I broke that one in the same place that I broke the other one, which is in the hip belt. And then last year, I ran a combination of a Badlands pack. I got it repaired. And what Sitka bag?
It's the, it's in there too.
Mountain something?
No, it's the smaller one than that. It's one of the small ones. It's like a day pack. I don't remember which number it is.
So I kind of got to thinking, and I wanted to get a pack that was a nice hybrid between a photography backpack and a hiking backpack and a hunting backpack. And I was kind of researching around, and I found F-Stop. You guys have probably heard of F-Stop. That's pretty much their specialty, is making bags that are designed to take cameras into
adventure filmmaking type stuff.
Adventure filmmaking into the backcountry. And so this is the F-Stop Talopa. They have a couple smaller versions of this. They're named differently, but a couple smaller ones and like one or two maybe bigger ones. And as I was reading reviews online, this backpack is carry-onable, according to the reviews.
What was that word again?
Carry-onable. You can carry it onto an airplane. I made that word up, but
yeah, we can tell.
But you knew what I meant.
Yes.
Yes. So this will fit in the overhead compartment of most airplanes, which is what I wanted. I wanted one backpack.
And you have proven this.
Yes. I'm getting there. That's all part of this story.
Oh, sorry, God.
And because I used to take like a laptop backpack, and then I would pack my other pack into a Pelican case. And I wanted to not do that. I wanted to be able to take this onto the airplane with my laptop, with my DSLR in there, and then be able to take all that stuff out, put all my hunting gear in there, and call it a day. And this was the perfect solution. I guess I could show you all the stuff, but the most important part of this backpack is this back opens. It's got a rear, I don't know, when it opens from the rear, I guess.
Rear access?
Rear access.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. Very mature. And then this is what they call the ICU, or the internal camera unit. That makes sense. And they have different sizes, but I went with this one. And basically, it's just this. I can take it out because it's meant to be taken out. You can actually take it out. It sits at the bottom of your pack.
This is a reason you should watch the YouTube live stream.
Yep. And maybe I can't take it out. Yeah, I can. There it is. Anyways, I'm not going to take it all the way out.
You've got a question on the thing, too, if you want to answer it.
So you can take this whole compartment out, and it has all of these little dividers, and you can set it up to hold whatever lenses, whatever camera bodies that you want. And usually how I have it set up is I've got my 6D here, 70 to 200. I leave one lens on the 6D. The other one goes right above it right there. And then this is kind of a catch-all for a little bag that I have batteries and miscellaneous things for. And the really nice thing about having this and having it accessible from the rear is that I could put all of the gear I need for hunting kind of up above it, accessed through the top like you would in the other bag, in through here. And then when I want to get to my DSLR, all I have to do is open the back flap, reach in here, grab it, shoot, put it away, and you're good to go. The other thing that's nice about this, and I've had to use this one time, is this whole compartment is removable. And so there was one time when I got on a flight and this was packed to bin. I just took this whole ICU out, put that underneath my seat, and then all the rest of the stuff in the bag was
Overhead.
thin enough that I could put it in the overhead compartment, or if they wanted to put it down below the plane, it was just like clothes and stuff like that. And so far I've been really impressed with the pack. I mean, I've used it for elk season, and I've used it for all the deer stuff, tree stand stuff, and I've lashed tripods to it. I lashed an elk quarter to it because I just wanted to see if it could handle it. It wasn't the most comfortable thing that I've ever
Did you get
done.
a picture of that?
Mm-hmm.
We need to send that to F-Stop. They probably won't like it, but we still
No,
need to
they're
send
not
it
gonna
to
like it. Like I wouldn't probably want to necessarily pack out an elk quarter for a long ways with the pack, but you could do it. I regularly put the whole tree arm setup on here with an entire DSLR, all of my stuff to support the big camera, all of the regular stuff you would have hunting, extra cards, extra batteries.
How does it wear once you have that much weight in it, though? Wears pretty good?
It wears pretty good.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, this is a solid waist belt, and it cinches down, and because you've got the cameras down here at the base and most everything lashed out here, I mean, it rides pretty good. I mean, it's like, just like any other super heavy pack.
If you had to give it a grade.
If I had to give it a grade, I would give it, well, what are we?
100 being perfect, 1 being real bad.
And is this for using it for what we do or just a backpack?
For what you do, if you had to put a grade on it.
If I had to put a grade on it for what we do, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Really? What would you change about it?
The only things that I would change is a little bit more comfort for packing really heavy loads like an elk quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but
something like that.
You'll have to give something up if you do that, though. It'd probably have to be a hevier bag.
You'd have to have a heavier bag, or you'd have to have a actual pack frame on there. It can be a little loud.
Yeah.
Like these, you can't really hear them, but that zipper, when you're in the woods in the morning, like that zipper makes a decent amount of noise.
Yeah.
And this is the same zipper here, and it kind of.
Yeah, and there's really no way around that.
No. The other thing that's kind of weird is the actual frame, the metal frame on the inside of here kind of overlaps with this ICU enough to kind of make it annoying to actually zip and unzip it while it's inside of the pack. But when I'm hunting, I don't ever zip up this ICU. I just leave it this.
Yeah, flap it over it, yeah.
I only zip it up when I'm flying.
Yeah.
So that if I had to take it out, I could. But as far as like having a lot of different compartments, having the ability to, like, it's
really sturdy.
It's really sturdy. This material is like almost bomb-proof. Like I haven't ripped it or done anything to it yet. And I've been dragging it up trees, laying it down on rocks.
Yeah.
Just going through everything you would usually go through with a backpack.
I've been carrying, like I carried that Sitka Mountain 4200 or 4000 or whatever it is. It's a big, heavy pack. It's got a frame that can carry 150 pounds. It's great for carrying a lot of stuff in terms of organization. It sucks because it's one huge compartment and then two short compartments and then a big compartment on top. It doesn't have a rear access. Mm-hmm. And in order to put a camera in there, you have to wrap it up in clothes or something. Otherwise, it's going to get torn up by something heavy and laying on it wrong. It's just not set up to carry camera gear. And that was really tough in New Mexico because I really, really wanted to get that camera off my back. And in order to do that, I had to break it down. And I had to have one pack had the part of the camera, another pack had another part of the camera, and I had the tripod on me. So it just wasn't ideal for that. And then the DSLR, it's just not made to carry camera gear. It was not. Yeah. But I kind of want to try that pack just because I had that Cinebag, and it was a great pack, but the ergonomics on it sucked. It was a box, and it didn't wear very well. It carried stuff and had good compartments, but it just wasn't an adventure pack. Like, it was not comfortable to carry. It didn't ride on your back well. The waist strap sucked. The shoulder strap sucked. Everything about it sucked. But if you were just carrying it out of your car into the office, then it's fine. But if you're carrying up a mountain or into a tree stand, no, not happening. Just wasn't set up for that. But I kind of want to try that one. I mean, it's a pricey pack, but
yeah, I think I spent in total $500.
Yeah.
For pack and 2 ICUs. I got the medium, which is the one I got in there. They have a small. I'll probably never use the small. And
I think I put the large on mine.
The large?
Yeah. I think that's what it came with, because that's the pack I picked. And I picked the black one, so if we did get our pack, when I get our packs mixed up.
Yeah, so I don't know. They make a ICU that's designed for cinema cameras. I don't know if it fits in this pack, because that's obviously a big one. Though?
I bet the FX6 will fit in that broken down.
Take the handle and the monitor off, and
I mean, we could probably. I think it's almost the exact same size as your FS5. We could almost try it.
It is a little bit wider. It's the same length.
Yeah,
but it's just a little wider.
Yeah.
Well, it'll easily fit in there.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, people ask me every time somebody picks up my pack at not an elk camp, because elk hunting, everybody's got heavy packs usually.
Yeah.
But like whitetail hunting, people go to the tree stand with a fanny pack, right?
Yeah.
And I don't ever get to do that. So people will pick up my pack when I've got literally everything in here for an entire day of hunting. And it's like, I mean, you're looking at a 40-pound pack.
Yeah.
Easily. And they're like, what in the heck do you have in there? Well, I've got
everything.
My DSLR body with a lens, with the 2 other lenses. I've got...
And that's 20 pounds right there.
Yeah, I've got water. I've got all the extra food. I'm pretty snacky, so I take a decent amount of snacks, because I ain't about to get hungry sitting in a tree all day. No, I'm not going to do it. And the whole arm set up on the outside. And so, I mean, ends up being a 40-pound pack at the end of 50-pound pack at the end of the day. But, I mean, I think a lot of it is the little things with this pack. Like these, I had to pay an extra, I don't know, too much for basically straps. They're just a couple of little buckles. But, like, if you're listening, you can't see this. But on one of the cross straps on the... Is this the front or the back of the bag? The front of the bag?
That the front.
Where it's connected to the nylon of the pack, they...
Fight it.
Yeah, well, it's not supposed to come out. See how they just put that little hole right there in the strap?
Yeah.
So that you could put this through there, and you get a whole other strap. And that's how I strap on my base and my arm. Like, you've got these little D-rings here that I take a carabiner and put my haul rope on these, so that I can just, as soon as I get to the base of the tree,
you really need a better...
All right, well, you know what?
Pull-up rope like mine.
Maybe I'm just a traditional kind of guy.
$40
I just use paracord.
See, it gets tangled up.
And not if you wrap it right.
That's true.
Kip, you clearly haven't been shown how to wrap up paracord.
Yeah, I learned from Kip too.
Yep. Figure 8 over the finger and thumb, never tangle it again.
Yeah.
And I showed that to Greg, and he was like, So I taught Greg something about how to wrap up rope.
Or you can just get a really good pull-up rope like mine and not have to mess with any of that. Never have to roll anything up ever again.
You could.
I've had that pull-up rope for like 9 years. So.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
There's a little leather strap on both sides. What it's advertised to be for is skis.
Skis.
Yeah, so like you can lash skis to the never.
What's that long? What's that long zipper on the side?
Yeah, so that's just more storage. Oh. So I mean, you've got your main compartment. Inside your main compartment, you've got this mesh right on the inside that I obviously have some things in. You've got a little miniature pocket on the flap, the rear flap, that I just put cards in. Then you've got this top pocket And in the top pocket, you have 2 additional mesh pockets. So you got all the room in the middle, mesh with a zipper for secure things, mesh with a Velcro for just other random things. You've got this front pocket. You've got a little pocket right here for, I think right now I just got like a trash bag in there for emergencies.
Yeah,
that's for a rain cover, or like I've got extra straps for lashing things.
Yeah. Is it waterproof?
It's water resistant.
Yeah.
Like it's not waterproof. If you threw it in a river, water would get in there.
Yeah.
You've got a
water port
H2O thing there. And then this is just a extra whatever room. And then you've got, like it says it's for skis, but I use it for like a tripod. You could put a tripod, a couple legs down through there, or that's where this is where I put my arm.
Yeah.
So the base, I kind of have to, there's no good way to attach a base to a backpack, but I kind of run this one through, tighten it, run this bottom one down, and just kind of lash it really nice and snug on here. And then that muddy arm fits perfectly right in there.
Yeah.
And then just take these 2 straps and do it.
See, the pack that I got, it separates from the frame. I put my arm in the base between the frame and the pack, almost like it's meat.
Yeah. That's pretty slick. You like that? Which one
It's
was
the
it?
Mystery Ranch Pop-Up 28.
Pop-Up 28?
I should have got the 38, but I got the 28 instead. So I'll probably end up getting the 38.
I was about to say you always need one size bigger than you think you need.
Now, when I was first getting this, I talked to Mike Hearn a little bit, and I don't know if it was a Kafaru or a Mystery Ranch.
Kafaru.
And he was like, well, you could just get one of those.
Shape charge.
Yeah, and then put the ICU in it, which you could. So if you're looking
I had the shape charge
It's
in
not
my
that
truck.
big, is it?
No, it's not very big at all. I had the shape charge, and that's why I didn't like it, because it wasn't very big.
Yeah, just another option, I guess, if you wanted to. You can buy the ICU separate. So if you have a pack and you're like, hey, maybe I just want the ICU, you can just get the ICU and put it in there.
You're not going to have the rear access.
Yeah. After running this.
That's the biggest feature that I like, is that.
Yeah. After running this for a season, I'm super, super happy with it. I was a little worried about spending $500.
So would you spend it again, though?
I would 100% spend the $500 again.
Yeah.
No doubt.
See,
I mean, I've put this through an entire season. You can't, if you're listening, you can't see this, but I mean, it's freaking dirty.
What's the warranty on it? Do you know?
They supposedly have a really good warranty. Like, if something breaks, they'll fix it. I have a buckle on here that I do need to fix. See, one of the little prongs came off.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it just got slammed in a car door, but
that'll happen.
This is almost like the next best thing to a Pelican case.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't throw this around like a Pelican case, but I don't feel nervous having my stuff in here and having it on me. Yeah. Or putting it in the back seat of a truck, or like putting it in the bed of a truck or something like that. I mean, as long as it's not getting thrown around in like a really extreme way, I feel like my gear's really protected and I'm not worried about things getting hurt.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend. And they've got a lot of options. So, I mean, if you wanted something smaller, you can get something smaller. If you're not worried about trying to carry it on, they have bigger sizes. Like if we ever for some reason had some shoot where we needed to haul a red up a mountain and it just needed to be in the pack and we needed to camp also at the same time, like they have giant packs that you could put a full cinema camera in, plus your tripods and all whatever support gear you and the camera need, and
it's gonna
go up a mountain.
It's gonna suck going.
It's gonna be a heavy son of a gun.
Nose goes on that.
But
it'll
carry it.
Speaking of nose goes, I watched that Lost on Everest documentary. It's on Disney Plus, but Nat Geo did it. It was Renan Ozturk did it.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I saw it on YouTube. Curtis Blosser sent it to me, and I was.
Oh man.
I freaking watched it. I was like,
see,
holy crap.
I'm one of those guys that I'm fascinated with Everest. Have no desire to climb the top of Everest, not the least little bit. But I'm fascinated with people that do it, and like that walk by dead bodies. There's over 100 dead bodies on Everest. It's like, why, man?
And they're
Like, I would want to go to Everest just to stand at the base of the mountain, but no, I don't care about going to the top.
there's
Like,
people that
You would tell me you would stand at the base of the mountain and you would look up there, and you would see everybody going up there, and a little piece of you wouldn't be like, you know what?
Not even my thumb.
Two
would wanna
thumbs
go.
up,
Yep.
guys. Y'all are doing a great job.
There's a lot of people, like a lot of
I'll be the guy that
scientists.
flies the
You
drone from down
freaking,
here.
you freaking guys.
There's a lot of scientists that say
You know what?
those
It's a
bodies
good
will be
thing that
preserved
there's-
forever
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's so cold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they found the George Mallory guy in that documentary, who was the first guy they thought summited it. He died in 1920. They found his body, mummified. Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Wait, that wasn't the guy they were looking for, though.
No, they were looking for another
Yeah.
guy.
And they
I was
found
about to
some.
say they didn't find the guy they were looking
No,
for.
they didn't find the guy they were looking for. He was a 22-year-old, 23-year-old guy that was up there that was his like assistant, and they were really looking for his camera, and then they never found it. Freaking crazy stuff, man. But
I would climb it.
I had two more things that we were going to talk about on the podcast, but we've already.
But you
been
didn't
going an
say
hour.
what that was shot on.
It was shot on Sony stuff, Sony
FX
Alpha series.
FX6.
That was shot on
I
FX6?
No, I think
I
it was
thought it
all.
was
A7.
I think it was A7s. It was
Oh.
all mirrorless stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
was it?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you want to talk about the place that you would want to run
Yeah.
a small camera like
yeah.
that, it's
Yeah.
Everest,
I bet
where
he-
every single ounce.
Dude, I bet he had freaking A7 batteries like Skittles in his bags. I bet everybody had 20 batteries in
They
their
probably had a Sherpa with
Oh, just-
one bag just stacked with batteries.
Had
Yeah.
to have.
Like
man.
only batteries.
And
but-
I guarantee
but the
as soon as
quality
they got
of-
done, they just hucked them. Like, that one's done. Just threw it off the mountain. You get 3 minutes record time per battery.
Yeah, but that was a beautiful film
Oh,
and
yeah.
all shot in a mirrorless. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
goes to show you can shoot, and people do shoot beautiful things on a mirrorless. Do I want to shoot most things on it?
No.
No.
Do you know what was really easy to get on that shoot, though? Your
Pretty
white balance.
Oh, white balance. Yeah.
That's the one thing about shooting in the snow. It's always pretty because it's easy to get white every time. I had two more things we are going to talk about, but we're already an hour in, so
We might as well just talk about it.
I'm
We
going
were
to
an
go.
hour and 20 last time.
I'm going to go into what are some. Hold on.
I've been answering a lot.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's answer some on the podcast for people listening. Dude, we've got so many comments now. I don't even know where we're at.
A guy asked me what gimbal I had for the FS5. I have the Ronin M for the FS5. It is massive. I do not have it here because we won't use it. It is at home.
What is your ideal podcast setup? Red Forest, which is Jared. We want to build a studio upstairs. We have a huge space in our attic area that we're not using. We want to turn it into a podcast studio / interview area that we can just have set up, that we don't have to set this thing up every time we want to shoot. Literally set up, plug in, turn on lights, we're ready to go. And we can have a space where we can rent out for people that want to do live streams or podcasts. Just got to find a contractor that'll do it. Somebody said spend money on
Yeah, Damon Chase asked if you could spend money on a high-end DSLR or the lenses. Which would you choose? I told him lenses because I was going to use your example. The lenses you have are
they'll last a long time.
the first generation L lenses, and they
Now, if
last
you're-
a lot longer.
If
than
you're talking
cameras.
about buying a 10-year-old DSLR and using new lenses versus buying a decent consumer DSLR, buy a decent consumer DSLR. But
right,
lenses, in the long run, I mean, we're still using the same lenses. Like, lenses don't change a whole lot over time.
yeah, I mean they
and-
come out with a new camera every
Yeah.
8 to 12 months, and they come out with new.
Yeah.
Nikon has lenses they haven't updated for like 8 years.
Yeah.
You can only update glass.
What are
so
other
much.
questions? You were keeping up with it. I was not.
No, they're just conversation about
Oh.
about lenses, and then Jared asked his question. That was really about it. Winter Production said he was having issues with his gimbal. Most of the time they just get out of calibration. So if you can just go onto their website and basically, or you can I have an Evo gimbal and they have an app and it tells you exactly how to calibrate it step by step, and it works perfectly fine.
We need to do that with that one because I tried it again the other day, and I'm gonna have to run the R5 on it because that double battery grip, I guess it's just too heavy. It
It's
won't
too
do
top
it.
heavy.
bounces the whole time.
Well, I calibrated it when I was here in December, but I had to take the battery grip off.
Yeah, it's jacked again.
Yeah.
I messed it up.
And then Damon said looking for a wildlife lens out to about 100 yards. I told him the Sigma 150 to 600.
Yeah, for 100 yards, that'll be more than enough. He could probably do that 400 if he wanted to.
Problem with wildlife is wildlife lenses are expensive.
Generally, yeah, that 150 to 600 is not that bad, but it's not going to be super sharp.
If you have a crop sensor, you could get like a 70 to 300 because that 300 times 1.5, what is that, 450?
None of those are going to be really sharp. No. But if you want a really sharp photo lens for that far away, take out a loan, buddy. It's going to be expensive. I think that's all I got. We got the next podcast, just to go ahead and, because I've been asked this so many times, is I'm going to do some research. I'm going to get these guys to do some research. We'll get the starter kit. People want to know what a great starter kit for photo video is. What does that look like?
So DSLR, mirrorless.
What does it cost? And kind of give them an option for a handheld video camera and then an entry-level DSLR, what lenses, and kind of go over prices. And then we'll kind of go over that in detail. And then probably next podcast will be a 2020 wrap-up and 2021 outlook type thing. So I was going to do both of those today, but, we don't have time to get into all that. And I want to do some research about the starter kit stuff anyway. But I think that's all I got. Maybe we'll hang out and answer a couple more questions if y'all don't have anything. Y'all good?
Good.
All right, guys. Peace. All right, we just got done with the live podcast. I guess we'll hang out for a few more minutes and answer any questions if anybody has any. I think I've just closed my stuff. Maybe not. Story of my life. Oh, what story of your life?
Oh, I think talking about the wildlife lenses.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. I really hope I think my mother might have bought me that bag for my birthday.
I remember you texted me
Your birthday's in 2 days, isn't it?
Yes.
16th? He said loans. Story of his life.
Loans. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, could I live without it? Yes, but it's like my mom's like beating me to death about something for my birthday and Christmas. I was like, first of all, everything I want is like $10,000+.
Exactly. That's like my parents are like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, well, here's a list of camera gear. Oh yeah, we're not buying you that. Well then,
so
I don't have to tell you.
That's what I told my wife. She's like, what do you want? I'm like,
all the stuff we would use, we'd get discounts on. We'd get ourselves.
Buy me a new truck, But she's like, well, I'm not doing that. I was like, well,
you asked.
The next thing down from that's like just shy of that much money.
I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, all right, here's my State Farm bill. Pay it for December.
No doubt.
Here's my Verizon bill. Pay it for December.
My cousin Amber, I know she's not going to listen to this. And I know she's not watching live stream, so God bless her. Love her to death. She's the worst gift giver in the world. So yesterday at our Christmas party, you had to come with a $10 guy gift, a $10 girl gift, and then they did like the white elephant thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Amber brought an ice scraper one year to scrape ice off your window. I was like, Amber, we live in friggin' North Georgia.
It does get frosty here.
Yeah, but nothing that defroster can't handle.
Dude.
I just use a credit card.
Yesterday, you know what she brought? She brought, have you ever seen those little things that go in your cup holder that you put your change in and it tells you how much change you have? That's what she brought. You know what the other people brought mail gifts was?
Knives.
Pocket knives. Tools. Like the sun buff things.
Mm-hmm.
Man gifts. I said, Amber, where did you get that? I knew what the answer was going to be. Not Home Depot, not Lowe's, not Bass Pro, not Tractor Supply. She's like, I got it at Kohl's. I'm like, that's your problem. You bought a man gift. at Kohl's. I was like, next year, call me. I said, I'm going to tell you to pick up a ball or something, and I'm going to tell you to walk into Home Depot, Bass Pro, Track Supply, throw said ball, and whatever it hits, buy that. And that will be better than that gift.
Just go to Tractor Supply and go to one of the bins that they got right before all the registers. There's something in there.
I said, you would have been better off putting a $10 bill in there. Nobody's going to use that. Not a soul. I was like, do you know why that was in the bargain bin at Kohl's? That was the end of the road for that gift.
And Kohl's is going out of business.
After that, that sucker gets thrown in the trash. And she was just like looking at me like dumbfounded. She's like, nobody's. I'm like, no. And there's a coin shortage.
Nobody uses change because nobody uses cash. Also, that takes up a valuable cup holder.
Yeah.
That I need
for coffee and
for
Monster.
Coffees, Monsters,
and I guarantee
waters,
so
my phone.
First of all, there's no such thing as a good gift for $10 anyway. And second of all, she didn't pay $10.
$10 Chick-fil-A gift card.
She didn't pay $3.99 for that. They probably paid her to take that out of the store.
Ma'am, please.
Damon
please take
Chase
this.
wants
you bought yourself a article of clothing. Here's a free gift to get the heck out of the store with it.
Damon Chase wants any hint on when classes will be.
Probably, I'm thinking it's going to be February. Is going to be the earliest we're going to be able to do it. Because turkey season is going to start beginning of March, and I don't want to do it during turkey season. More than likely, it's going to be February. Just because we'll be kind of in our groove with editing, and we'll want a break by then and having a class. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, and Ryer and I talked about this earlier today. We're probably going to limit this class to about 8 people because the way we're going to do this class is going to be different than the last class. And we can't have more than 8 people or it's just going to be too many. And I don't want to talk about exactly the specifics because I haven't got it all ironed out yet. But what we're wanting to do would be pretty cool. And it'll be very, very intuitive, very, very hands-on. And you'll get to see kind of the whole thing from start to finish. So, and when I say the whole thing, the entire creative process from concept, pre-production, shooting, editing, you'll get a whole project come together. When and where and how we're going to do it, who's going to be doing what. But that's the idea. I'm thinking, like I said, 6 to 8 people total, and then we'll have to cut it off. I think the class will be longer this year just because I think we're going to need the extra time. Instead of it really being 2.5 days, I think we need a full 3 days. And then, so you probably will arrive on a Thursday, and we'll be doing stuff Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave Sunday afternoon, evening. I think that's how we're going to structure it this next time. Correct? Would y'all think that? Because I think by the end of February, we're going to be needing a break from editing, and then that's going to be right before turkey season. So, and I don't know what turkey season is going to hold this year, especially with COVID and whatever the heck happens with our administration. So,
Damon said, how are you going to choose said 6 to 8 people?
First 6 to 8 that sign up.
Bidding starts at 1 12-pack of Coors.
I know
and we'll go up from there.
I know the calling guys that are probably still listening, they're wanting to send a couple people. The class is going to happen here in North Georgia again. We're not going to be moving locations just because it doesn't make sense. So the last class was great. It was just almost for what we wanted to do, for what we're wanting to do now, that's too many people. So I don't know price yet. I don't know. It won't be the same price as the last class just because the last class was so structured different than this one. This one will be longer.
More generic.
Yeah, and this one will be longer, but this one will be like super hands-on, really, really, real deep dive into everything. So, but it'll be a great class for all skill levels, from the very, very beginner to the really advanced guy, I think. So
I really wish we could get a class where We could take people on a hunt.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the next thing that we do. We just got to figure out the logistics of that too.
I have an idea for that, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
Well, I think it can be done, but we just got to figure out how and what to do, and where to do it, and then how to get people there, and
that was going to be
what's it going to cost, idea, to get people there? What's it going to cost us to get us there? And, is it outfitted? Do we get food? Is it close to places to eat? Like all those things we got to think about. But,
how close is the nearest Casey's? That is all that I care about. As long as I can get Casey's.
Yeah, you need to see if we can get a Casey's franchise down here somewhere.
I was just in Iowa, and I didn't get breakfast pizza a single time. First of all, Dudley doesn't eat breakfast.
I know.
Who doesn't eat breakfast?
I normally don't eat breakfast.
Y'all are insane.
Dude, I just feel like crap after I eat breakfast.
I don't have an appetite at 6 in the morning.
I don't either.
Well, anyways, he doesn't eat breakfast.
I start getting an appetite like 10. But then if I eat at 10, then I don't want lunch. It's like so backwards.
Will that be the only class in 21?
If you eat at 10, you don't want lunch. You just eat all day.
I'm fat already, dude. I'm trying to chill out on that. Will that be the only class in 2021? I don't know. If we do another one, it'll probably be summer, which will be like July, August timeframe. Or if we do a hunting one, that's going to be so hard for us just with our schedules. Unless we do it like now, like Christmas time, January, late season, because September is no possible way. Maybe early mid-October would be the only time. November, no chance. Early December, no chance. It would be December, January, or middle of October if we got to do that.
Yeah, if you did,
you could always do a waterfowl.
Or no way.
Shut your
you
mouth.
Could do like a late season, January, February, like.
All right, Chuck.
What?
Alabama, Mississippi whitetail hunt.
Yeah, or Texas. I mean, find somewhere in Texas.
That's just expensive to get there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to do a hunt and do a camera class at the same time, you'll want to get there. You can find out a place to do a cool hog hunt or something. I don't know. Just need to put the word out. And if you have a contractor and you're listening to the podcast, like Jared, seriously, find somebody to call me back.
Because when we get that studio, we can promise that we'll get product videos and things like that out that you guys want.
Be really cool. It'll make life easy, and we can
help us help you.
Clay can get out of the redneck blinds chair. Is that it? I think that's everything. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
No moss.
No moss.
No moss from the live feed.
Mm-mm.
All right, that's it. Deuces.